Hey everyone, this is Kelly and I'm back with another video for honeybee stamps. Today I have created lots of seashell cards with the use of the seashell card dies. I took an image from Pinterest, and this is actually a seller on Etsy that creates jewelry, and I absolutely loved these seashells. So that was my inspiration for today. I'm using the seashell card die as well as this background die that comes in the set. There is a detailed layer and also two different sizes of pearls. I'm inking up several of these background layers with Broken China Distress Oxide ink, and the green is Cracked Pistachio. I'm just going to go over these a couple of times to kind of get these pretty well blended together. They don't have to be absolutely perfect because I'm going to go back over and do different techniques and use different kinds of products on top of these Distress Oxide inks. I did not ink up that Broken China again as I went to the bottom or the pointy part of that shell because I wanted it a lighter blue. And then I'm going to go ahead and do different types of techniques for every card. This is the detailed layer, and the first thing I did was ink this up with some Versamark sticky ink or Versamark watermark ink. It's the same thing. It's sticky ink you can use with embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle some platinum embossing powder on top of that ink and then heat set that really well with my heat tool. I'm going to make sure that that powder is nice and smooth, and I actually did this process about 3 times to make sure I got that embossing powder nice and thick. Show you the sparkle there and then show you how awesome that looks on top of that ink background. I just thought that looked exactly like the inspiration that I looked up on Pinterest. The next thing I did was spray that background piece with some Shimmer Spritz, and then while the ink was still wet on this inked background, I used some Perfect Pearls, and this is just the original pearl color. You can see a little bit of that subtle shimmer there. I love that. It's not too sparkly. And I added that Shimmer Spritz detailed layer on top of that. The next thing I did was take an inked background. It's inked up the exact same way, and I'm using 3 different sizes of paintbrushes. And instead of using the brush ends, I'm using the handle end. I'm dipping that in water just to make some dots and some different sizes onto that oxide background to get that awesome oxide reaction. I did use a really fine tip brush to add some fine little dots here and there, and I love the way that that one turned out. It's almost like tie-dye. It ended up being one of my favorites. I used a white gel pen and a black glaze pen to add some details and some dots to that one. And then for this ink background, I'm using some mother of pearl Nuvo Mousse, and it does change the color just a little bit of those Distress Oxide inks. I want to show you this on white paper. I'm adding that same mother of pearl, and you can see the golden shimmery look that it gives that paper. Here it is on some textured paper, some iridescent paper, and then back on that mother of pearl Nuvo Mousse ink blended background. I did save all the little center pieces or all the little inside pieces from the Nuvo Mousse detail piece that I did. I adhered all those down to use the negatives, and then I love the way that that one turned out. A different use for those dies. So I have lots and lots of backgrounds now to add to and make different cards and different projects. I use the Mermaid Song stamp set, and I love all the greetings and sentiments in that set. I use the A2 double stitch rectangle dies to cut the backgrounds for those cards, and lots of Honeybee Stamps embellishments. Here's a look at the seashell shaped card. That's the front there with that Nuvo Mousse. Here's a look at the inside with one of the pearls. All these supplies can be found in the description box below. I appreciate your thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye bye.